Card ready to go. Okay. Now, last session we've seen startup and shutdown of the servers. What we're going to see now is to extend our domain into a second box. So we already have our cloud server, which is 192.168.128.6, and we got a couple of servers on that. Now we are planning to extend or add some managed servers on a separate box and put them into the same existing domain. Now these are the steps that we have already discussed. So it's going to be very simple, the domain extension. The domain extension can be done in a lot of ways, and what we are seeing here is the easiest way, easiest of all of them. Means Oracle recommends using commands like pack.sh, unpack.sh, but they all pretty much do the same thing. They bundle it on box 1, extract it on box 2. So we can do it in a much simpler way. So this is what a better way is. This is what everybody does faster. So we're going to add servers from config.xml. Then on the box 2 we're going to install BA. Then we're going to create the directory structure. Then we bundle everything from box 1, transfer it to box 2, extract it on box 2. That's it. So let's start it. Now our box 2 is this one. This is a virtual machine to which we are extending our domain. So the IP of this one is 7. So if you see it here, so this is 192.168.128.7. This is what we're extending it. So let's connect to that 7, and let's also connect to our cloud server. So this is my cloud server. Right. And this is my second box. 7, 192.168.128.7. Open it. Code IT. Code IT. So these are my two boxes, server 10 and server 21. This is 21, and to 21 is where we are trying to extend our domain. So let's start with the first step. To add our servers to the config.xml from admin console. So let's first add it to the admin console. So we'll bring up the admin server, launch the admin console, log in there and add the servers. So let's go to our location, students online B10G, user underscore projects, domains, code daemon. Let's start that. Start at tailfnf admin.log file. Right, so our admin is running. We don't have to really bring up the managed servers at this point because we have nothing to do with managed servers. Let's launch the console, http whatever is our box IP. 192.168.128.6 20001/console. Right now, when you are accessing it from cloud server, you will be giving 49 series. That IP is what you would be giving. But for me, it's directly accessible, so I can use this IP. So let's go back and log in. WLS admin. Okay, let's add servers. These are current 1 and 2 servers. Now let's add 3 and 4. Encode MNG3. Listener address is our second box address, 7. Now let's give the port number 20,010. We're going to use the same port number because the IP is different here. So it's a standalone server. This is the summary, server name, listener address, and listen port. Finish it. Activate the changes. So your server is added to your domain. Now same way, add one more server. Log and edit. Add a new server. Encode MNG4. Same on the same box. We're adding this server also. Port number is going to be 2020. To next. This is a summary. All the 3 details: listen address, listen port. Finish it. Activate the changes. Alright, so we got the 2 other servers also added. So now your domain has 5 servers, 1 admin, 4 managed servers, but these 4 managed servers are spread across 2 boxes. So 1 and 2 are on box 1, 3 and 4 are on box 2. Now let's go ahead and continue. So step 1 we are done with. Now step 2 and 3 have to be done on the second box. So let's connect to the second box, and then we will install BE over there, and we create the domain home. Now when we are installing, we want to install in the exact same path as domain home, so and as box 1. The reason is we're going to extract the contents from box 1 to box 2, so it has to be same path, otherwise the scripts will fail. So on box 1, this is our path. This is where we have installed our WebLogic. So we're going to install it on the same location on box 2 also. So let's go to box 2. This is box 2. Under WL files, I have the installer. I'm going to run the installer. Silent console mode. Fn mode equal to console. Remember, this is the second box. So here you're looking at. Yes, Kalyan, I have started the class. Deepak, can you hear me? Okay. Kalyan, can you check your speakers or something? It started just now. We have added a couple of servers. I think you're able to see it on the screen. Can you check your speakers and see if they're working? Deepak is able to hear me. It means there's something on your side, some speaker issues or something. So let's go ahead with the installation. So next we're going to create a new BA home here. Alright, option 1. So let's give the BA home the same one as in the first one. So here, copy paste it. So BA 10G. So this is the home. Move on to next.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Kalyan. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, hi sir. Yeah, I'm able to hear you now.
What was the problem at least?
Actually, I was using the other number. It was not working fine, so I'm calling from the other number. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We didn't do much. We are extending our domain. So we have added 2 servers from the console. Then we are doing the second step here. So first step, we have added couple of servers from the console. Now we are installing it on box 2. That's what we are doing.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
So this your installation. In this installation, I'm going ahead with the complete installation. So the product installation directives, keep them simple. So only BA home or your one mandatory parameter is what we are passing. The rest of things I'm using all the default values. Alright, so all these are default. Now the installation will continue here. Let it continue. In the meantime, I will see this thing, the step 3, because this has nothing to do with step 2. Now what this step 3 says is we have to make sure a similar domain path exists on box 2 also. So on box 1, this is our domain home. This is our domain home. We just have to make sure this exists on box 2 also. So we're going to create this one because it does not exist already. So I'm going to open another session to box 2. Okay, so let's try to cd to this directory. So this does not exist. So I'm going to create it mkdir -path. Normally what happens is when you do a mkdir, it creates one directory, but we have a entire path. So I'm going to do mkdir -p. Now the screen here you're looking at is overwriting the existing line. So it's more like a putty issue. So just make sure you understood what we are doing. We're simply executing mkdir -p, the entire path of domain home. So it creates the entire path. Now you have the entire path. So this is the same home as on box 1. So this is box 1, this is box 2, and here is our installation going on. Alright, so step 3 is completed. Step 2 is still in progress. Now while that goes on, let's come back here. Get into step 4. Now step 4 creates a bundle of your domain home on box 1. So it uses a tar command, tar cbf. It creates this file encodedmn.tar from this directory encodedmn. So this we are going to do on box 1. So let's go back to box 1. So this is box 1. This is the domain home, all these files. We're going to come back one step, and this is what we're going to create a tar. So tar cvf create verbose a file, a tar file name from this directory. Alright, so the syntax is little different here. A tar file names comes first, and then the directory which you are tarring comes next. So all these files are bundled together. Bundle is done. So you have a tar file now. So if you look at this one, step 4 is done. Like at step 5. Step 5 transfers just now the created tar file into second box. So here we're going to use a scp command. Scp my tar file encode daemon.tar. Encode id is the username we're going to use to connect to box 2. And on box 2, this is the directory into which we want to transfer, or any other directory where we have created. So let's go back here, or this thing. So this is what we have created. Let's say we will transfer it under this location. Either way it's fine. Sp this file name with this user onto remote box 192.168.1.87, and the remote box send it to temp. Are you sure you want to continue connection? Yes. Password of the other box, encode IT. Now when you are doing, you will not be able to do it between the cloud server and a virtual machine on your box. That cannot be done. So you need to have both the servers in your local this thing. It's not possible to extend the domain from the cloud server to your local machine. So make sure if you want to practice domain extension, you need to have two boxes on your network itself, or probably you'll have to wait till sometime so I can add one more cloud server. Hi Chana, you're there? Good, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Chana? Hello? Okay. Now what's happening here is we have transferred that file to second box. So let's go back to second box. This is second box. Okay. Okay, so here we should have our file. We transferred it to /temp. So let's go to /temp. Okay, good. Slash temp. Let's look for tar file. This is the tar file we have just now created, and we have transferred it to box 2. So now we're going to move this tar file into this location. Move it. Let's go back to that location. Now instead of transferring it to temp and moving, we can directly transfer to whatever location we want during SCP itself. Either way, it's okay. And so tar xvf, extract this tar file. Oops. Tar xvf, this tar file. Now remember, we are extracting the entire domain home. So some of the files from box 1 may not be really necessary in box 2. Oh, you can't hear me? In between, you also can't hear me, Kalyan? Only Deepak can hear me. Kalyan and Chinarao cannot hear me. Looks like some problem. Kalyan, what happened actually means did it stop in between or something? We can't hear you. Okay. This is a mess. Can you disconnect and then connect again?
Welcome to GoToMeeting, online meetings made easy. There are 2 other callers on the call.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Welcome to GoToMeeting, online meetings made easy. There is one other caller on the call.
So here we go. Remove all unnecessary directories, clean it up. That's it. So now you are ready to start your manage server on second box. So let's modify our scripts a little bit. So I'm going to rename these scripts. Move start mng12. Let's make it 3.sh. The same way move 2 to 3.sh or 2 to 4.sh, let's say. One we are renaming as 3, 2 we are renaming as 4. The same way stop scripts also. 3.sh, move 2 to 4.sh. So now we have our scripts. Now let's modify those scripts. Open that script. Now the domain home will remain same. The path is not going to change. On the second line, name of the server is something that's going to change. So earlier it used to be manage server 1, now it's supposed to be manage server 3. The admin URL will remain same. Whether it's box 1 or box 2, we are still connecting to the same admin server. Then the log file name, we will change it. That's it. Save it. The same way we have to do for 4. So let's change the name of the server. Replace 4. Replace 4. Save, close. And done. Now we can change the stop scripts also if we want. Second line. Replace to 3. Log file name. Save it, close it. All are on mute, Shana. My voice is breaking because of the load on this box. This box is running multiple servers, my laptop. So we may have that problem for today. And because the desktop that we are using it's kind of a little overloaded because we are extending the domain to the second box. So just bear with me for today. So the last box is 4. Log file name is going to be 4 again. So save it, close it. So we are ready with our scripts. Now you can start our servers directly. So start mng3.sh. Alright, so the log file for mng3 is mng3.log. So let's open it up. This server is coming up. If everything is good, if all our configuration is good, this server should come up and connect to the admin box, and you will be able to see it from the console. Now while it is coming up, it tries to contact the admin server. So this is box 2. This is box 1. Now in box 1 admin server, there is a log called domain log. Let's go to the domain. This is domain home. Under servers directory, admin server, and under logs directory, you will see two logs here. If you do lsf and ltr, one is the admin server log itself. There is another log, domain log. The domain log will tell you that a managed server 3 is trying to contact the admin server. You will be able to see it in this log. Now the startup of this server is going to be a little slow here. So we will start one server, 3. A 4 also can be started a similar way, encode mng4. Now what this server is actually doing is, while it's trying, because we have given the admin URL as this, it is trying to contact this admin URL. Let's look at the log file. If you see any log messages, these are domain level log messages. We're looking at, see this file name, encode daemon. Your domain name itself is the log name. This is a domain log. Just like a domain log, each server has its own server log also. And we also have a log file from the wrapper script that we have created. That's called. So we're looking at 3 different logs. One is the console log, which we are creating through the wrapper. Other one is server log, which is this one. Hence that's available under domain home servers location, each server directory. Means if it is 1, 1, it's 2, 2, like that. Under each server's directory, logs and that log file name. And the third log is the domain log. That's overall domain wide information, which is this. This is very slow. It's coming up. This is where actually it reads the boot.properties file.
My admin is down, how to get admin up? Perhaps is what you're trying to say, to some mechanism. And what I'm saying is, if I'm doing a feasibility study for a software, and WLS is one of them, and if this kind of a constraint comes up, if admin is down, there is no way
Hold
I
on,
can have
hold on,
admin
hold on,
up.
hold on. Yeah, if that you know, your if our environment is so critical that we cannot afford a loss, then there is a way we can do it. Now let's say your admin goes down. Now you have a setup like this. You have a floating IP which assigns itself to a second box. Then you start your admin server on the second box because the IP remains same. So the managed servers will not know the admin went down. So it's not an impossible decision, kind of, we're not putting admins in a cluster. Means admin is not in an active state. Admin is always in, there is no secondary admin running, but if there is an environment that requires admin to be available at any cost, we can configure it in such a way there is one admin that is running always. All right, and you have a floating IP configured for admin. If the box 1 that admin is running goes down, the IP will float to the second physical box, and we will be able to start the admin server on the second box. That's a common configuration we usually do for a very critical environment.
Okay, then let me ask you this. You know about this OS clusters, right?
Right.
So
if you have a Veritas cluster, that's fine.
So
That's
if I have an OS cluster, I mean there are various technologies to implement it. If I have an OS level cluster, that can work in this kind of a scenario?
Yeah, you have a virtual IP. Use the host name instead of the IP address for listen address.
Exactly.
Done.
Exactly. And then another question would, because sometimes I have seen with the e-business suite application server that they are so stupid. Even if I give the host name, at some places they plug in the IPs.
Yeah, they do. That bug is there. We had a lot of issues with that one. One of our applications connects to this, and they do that credit check. Now that credit check application converts my host name into IP address. That's one stupid thing. Yeah, we have that problem.
So again, if I have this problem, then even my OS cluster will not help me, right?
That's right. In that case, it won't.
Oh man, this is not looking good.
Yeah, these are all configuration headaches that we have to go through always. That we currently have that problem now in our environment. We have an issue with that thing that it actually takes only IP address, so our Veritas cluster is kind of useless.
Oh.
Now we asked that vendor to fix that problem. They are saying it's probably it's in the pipeline. They will fix it sometime. They are not really interested at this point.
Oh man.
You will have those kind of issues. Those are common issues.
But Anil, that is not making sense to me business-wise.
That's right, because these product guys, especially the business-related product guys, they are more interested in the functionality of the product than the high availability of the product. It's not a software that that's hosting something else. It's not like a WebLogic that hosts a different application or a physical box that is running a software. For them, that's an end product. Let's say credit check. We have that credit check card. The pin check. That's what it does. So it picks up the pin number, zip number of zip code of the customer, and it gives a series of offers available. Now, for the vendor, he is interested in only the product itself. He is not really interested in high availability, configuration, easiness, everything. What he is saying is, this is the only configuration we have. We use it or leave it, kind of, because he is the only guy in the market.
Okay. See, what I'm trying to understand from what you just stated, I'm really confused, because I would have thought Oracle in other areas.
Sorry, Deepak, I just
In other
lost
areas,
you.
no problem. In other areas also, Oracle has these technologies wherein we can kind of have a cluster, a failover, I should say, the word here now, that if something goes wrong here, this can take over. The problem I will have with this, WLS is no problem, but on top of WLS, portal may be sitting. So portal, and that portal could be 24/7.
No, portal will have a clustered setup, right? So managed servers can be clustered. We are talking about only the admin server.
That's right, but what I'm trying to say, Anil, is, as you yourself said, I may need to do some functionalities which require admin server to be available, is what I'm
Yes,
saying.
yes. And if yeah,
Then to get done, right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah, you will have downtime.
But the way you are answering is, in a typical scenario, business-wise, the managed server take care of everything. So the business doesn't need to know admin is down or not because he's not impacted. That's what you are
That's right.
saying, right?
That's right. That's right. And the impact is minimal. I'm
Okay, I
not
think
really worried about fixing the problem immediately. I'm not in an outage, so I'm okay at that
okay.
point.
So then practically, until that, even that happens, that if say it has happened on Monday, I can still sustain for 5 days, and then during the maintenance window on Saturday, I can do my admin server troubleshooting and fixing the problem.
No, no, that's too optimistic. We can stay till that night.
Oh, that's it.
So, that's it. We cannot run the managed servers, in MSI mode for too long. So the
And why is that?
as I said, some of the services that are offered by admin will not be available. So some users may have impact. Now, as you said, why should we wait till the end of that weekend? We can do a rolling bounce in the middle of the night without actually impacting the end user. I bounce one after the other, the managed servers. So I bring up the admin.
Oh,
So I
oh, that
restart the
helps.
server. So the customer doesn't impact. There's no impact on the customer at all.
Yeah, there's a minimal impact. Whosoever is
Yeah,
connected will get disconnected.
that's it. That's it. So I'll do a rolling bounce. It'll take a couple of hours. That's still fine. But everything will be clean by the next morning.
Okay. And when I do the rolling bounce, if I have the clustering for the managed servers, even those will not be disturbed, I guess.
That's right. That's right. They will not be
Yeah?
disturbed.
Okay. Okay. I think I get it. And I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
since everything is
your
recorded,
point. Your point
yeah.
is valid in terms of pure theory. Means, how could we have some critical service not in a high available mode kind of. But in a practical requirement perspective, it's okay. And so admin server going down and waiting for a couple of hours to fix it is something that businesses are able to take up without too much impact.
Okay.
There are too
Okay.
many other
Again,
things in a complex network. There are too many other things that go down, and businesses have to worry. Like routers go down, switches go down. There are outages because of firewalls. So this is not a very big a critical issue that at least practically this is not a practical real big issue. Admin server going down, because we will still be able to continue without having any too much impact.
no, I mean, like now that if I sum up what we just discussed is, admin server goes down. If my managed are on a cluster, there's no problem because I can work on the admin server troubleshoot, see the fix, apply the fix, have the admin up for the cluster managed, do a rolling bounce. There will not be any impact whatsoever. Very minimal impact. Out
That's
of
right.
1,000 users, maybe 10 will get disconnected. That's it.
That's right. That's right. That's perfect.
Okay. 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 Thanks.
And you won't believe there are not rolling bounces. We directly restart a lot of production servers during the peak load because the servers hang.
Yeah. Again, see, those situations are different, and then I have seen that a long time back. It all depends on the requirement of my client.
That's
Sometimes
right.
my
That's
client
right.
works from 9 to 5. It's okay. I don't care. I can do whatever I like at 5 o'clock. But then there are clients who want the application 24/7, and it is actually 24/7. So if that kind of a scenario is there, then we have to,
Then
basically
yeah, we have to have a very high available servers. Then even
exactly,
even for
exactly.
admin server, in that case, let's say the client is so particular on the availability. For the admin server, we can actually do almost zero downtime kind of thing. If not exactly zero, but with 5-10 minutes gap, we can have other box which will bring up the admin server. Everything goes on fine.
So basically, you are
That's it.
saying use the floating IP concept.
Yeah, use the floating IP or use a Veritas cluster. Use the virtual IP, virtual host name instead of the listener address
No,
that
but
we are using.
no, but no, but as I said, right? If we use the host name instead of IP, even that doesn't help because I don't know where all this installation has embedded the IP by itself.
No, it's Wherever it is, its IP is going to be same. That's what we are saying. Virtual IP. The IP gets attached to the existing box in the your cluster. If one box goes down, the
Anil,
IP attaches itself to the second box. Yes, Chana.
Anil, Chennai,
Yeah.
I think the security configurations and JMS, database service kind of configurations will be managed from admin server. I think there will be an impact if the admin server goes down. If something, if application point of view in manager server, some exceptions happen, something goes down.
Yeah, there
So
will
you
be
need to change
exceptions.
any configuration. Yeah, if something need to be changed at a security level or any kind of this thing through admin server, so we cannot do anything
Yeah,
without
that's right.
without admin server.
That's true. You can't change
So
anything. That's true.
there should, yeah, the admin server should be up in minimal time. So
That's right. That's
it
right.
should not.
The
Yeah.
point is we can't change anything. What we are trying to do here is to run whatever is running. That's it. You can't really touch or change anything at all without the admin. Now, even if we change it at a managed server level, which can be done theoretically, means one of the managed servers, the configurations can be changed using a WL14 at command level. But those changes will be only for that managed servers. You cannot propagate it to the other managed servers. That's why what
Correct.
we are trying to do here is let's bring up the admin server within the minimal time possible. Now, one possibility is the box which is running the admin server went down, and the admin server was listening not on a specific IP but on a virtual host name. Now, the host name host name is actually between a two node Veritas cluster kind of thing. The host name will attach itself to one of the nodes of Veritas cluster. So the host name is available even if the physical box goes down. The host name is available with the other box, active box. Then we will have
Okay,
little
coming back
gap.
to
We little
I
have.
think, I think I buy your argument. Anil, my only problem in that scenario is, what if we use the virtual host name, no problem. What if Oracle WLS during installation and management uses and embeds IP in some of the configuration files? It is only the host name that you're changing, the IP is different still, right?
No, we cannot use in that case. IP we will not be using in the configuration. We have to plan
No,
our
we don't
configuration.
use. See, what I'm saying, whatever entries we make when we create admin server, managed servers, we will not create IP. That's fine, because it is under our control.
Okay.
But what I do not know, and what I asked you was, is it that internally Oracle WLS, when configuring itself, doing some setups,
No, it won't.
automatically in the
It won't.
background,
It won't. It won't.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So what you're telling me,
Those were the
is-
bugs that were already fixed.
okay, okay.
So
So I will
Oracle
change
does not
IP.
enter that.
So far I am giving the host name.
That's it. Right. It won't be converted into IPs. Oracle doesn't do that. WebLogic doesn't do that. Whatever you give during the configuration, the same things will be used throughout across all the configuration files. So that problem we don't have. All right, Chana, you were saying something.
coming back to floating IP, so floating IP configuration. So are they, let's say in some box X and box Y are serving the admin server, and so are they always be synchronized?
No, there is no
Yes,
synchronization. No, there is no synchronization. IP attaches itself to box Y if box X is down. Now, obviously, when box X went down, the admin also went down. Now, all that we are getting, the feature is, the benefit that we are getting is, you got another box, physical box with the same IP. So we log into that box, we start the admin server.
Okay.
You got it. Now, you may ask, where is the configuration of admin is stored? It's stored on a NFS.
That's what my question.
Yeah. So it's stored on a shared disk, external RAID disk. You will have a RAID 5 level, wherein a common redundant disk is there. So the disk is available from box 1 and box 2 also. It's a network disk kind of thing. So the configuration files are available to all the boxes, but let's say the CPU part went down. So in that case, the IP gets assigned to box Y, as you said. Box Y also has access to the same hard disk. We will log into box Y, start admin server as if we were always working on that box. Now in that case, we will use a shared disk. That's really important. NFS disk kind of thing.
Okay. So when the application is designed, so from the initial stage, so we have to have this kind of
Of course.
support is done.
Yes, these are all design time decisions. How you are going to implement your setup. Whether you're going to put it on, whether you need a highly available admin server or not, whether you need a commonly shared means. Let's say if you take, for example, just now what we did was we are extending our domain into 2 boxes. Now on the second box, we have decided to install WebLogic. Now instead of installing WebLogic, we may choose to use a commonly shared disk across these 2 boxes. In which case, we don't have to install on the second box, isn't it? So even your domain home also can be shared, which is very unlikely, but normally the BEA home can be shared across the boxes, and domain home you will have on each box. That's a common configuration you will come across always, so that you don't have to install WebLogic everywhere. And another important thing is when there is an upgrade, you don't have to upgrade on all the boxes. One upgrade, everything done. So these are all design time decisions. Means usually depending on the client's requirement, you decide whether you will need a common. Now, but this has recently caused a problem. One of our Cricket Mobile, if you know that Cricket Mobile services, you guys, Deepak and Kalyan, I think you guys know it. The one that was recently acquired by somebody else, AT&T. So, so what we had in the problem is they have an NFS mount across all our boxes. So all our WebLogic, there are about 15 managed servers running in that domain. The 15 managed servers were using all the 5 boxes. 5 boxes, 3 managed servers each per box. So total 15 managed servers. All the 5 boxes were using the same NFS mount. So the BEA home was installed only on the NFS mount. Now when we are doing an upgrade, the NFS mount failed because of a Linux bug. Once the NFS mount failed, literally all the 15 managed servers went down. So even though we have a very, we thought it's a highly available environment, because of a Linux bug, we had 12 hours outage. Now that's probably...
No, let me tell you, whenever you have a shared filing system, okay, you do not use NFS. NFS is only where your one server is kind of a server and other is kind of a client. That is only reading.
Right.
That's when you do one host having the disk and the other host is just reading from that disk. That's what you do NFS mount for. For this kind of configuration, you use what is called as shared filing system. The shared filing system, shared filing system, it is meant for these purposes wherein the multiple blades, multiple servers may be accessing those, and it is supposed to do a cluster management and a locking mechanism in itself. In this WLS scenario, you are lucky that your files are only read by one person. So though as you are showing us the configuration, one file is read and written only by one guy, one server process, right? Okay? So you are lucky that your filing system is simple, the way it is being laid down. But there are scenarios wherein one same file can be read and written by 5 different hosts, wherein it becomes more complex. And that's
that will be really complex in that case.
GPS. Yeah, exactly. So you have what is called as a GFS system, the global filing system.
That's right.
Shared filing systems.
Yeah, that's much more probably in a complex setup than what we may need probably here. So if we are saying, a process, 5 different processes can read and write from the same file at a time, is that really possible? Operating system does allow
Yes,
such
yes,
thing?
yes, yes. Now, let me give you an example. Let me give you a very simple example, which all of us know in here. Oracle database rack.
Mm-hmm.
Oracle database rack is 2 servers accessing same set of data files. In a very simple scenario, even if you guys don't need to know database with what I'm saying. You have 2 hosts, 2 blades, 2 servers accessing common set of files. Both the guys read the same set of files and write to the same set of files. And the way you achieve them through a filing system which has become nowadays a common ASM, before was OCFS2, before was OCFS1, and there are other vendors also besides Oracle. IBM is one of the ones which is GPFS system that they have. HACMP system that they have. These are all the filing systems, and they are meant for these purposes. That is, more than one guy can come read from me and write to me. Of course, you have to configure those filing systems. They are not that easy, but not that complex also nowadays.
That's good. That's good. So we have that kind of probably, those are, as we are talking, those are design time decisions you decide based on most of the times your client requirements. All right, so that's your domain extension. The same way you can extend to as many boxes as you want, pretty much. There is no limit except for that, your admin server should be able to handle the number of managed servers you are extending to. The ideal limit is usually 15. If you need more than 15 servers to handle your load, you will usually go with a separate domain. So you will create another domain so that another admin server is able to handle another set of 15 servers. Alright, so that's it for today. I think I'll stop it here for today. We won't start the next chapter. That will be deployments. Our next chapter will be deployment. This is when we will bring in the application onto our application server. So far what we have done was we have created the infrastructure. So our infrastructure is now a domain with 4 servers on 2 boxes. Now we are getting the your application from the developer. We put the application on top of this infrastructure. That's what we'll be doing, which is called deployment. So which we will take it up in our tomorrow's session. All right. Cool. So if there are no questions, we can log off.
Thanks,
And
Anil.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Sure, Anil. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.